Hello students, welcome back to my class. Today I shall continue with the chapter probability from class 10 mathematics. In the previous class we have learned about the some basic concept about probability, some terms of probability and minor problems related to probability. Today I shall do some more sums, solve few problems from probability so that the chapter will become more and more easier to you. So let me first begin with that coin. When we toss a coin, a fair coin, then we have only two possible outcomes. That is either head or tail. Now the probability of each of them, that is the probability of getting head, is 1 upon 2, as well as the probability of getting tail is also 1 upon 2. Now let me take two coins. First we have to find what are the possible outcomes if two coins are tossed simultaneously. So it can be head head, it can be head tail, it can be tail head, it can be tail tail. So there are four possible outcomes. Now in a coin, in a single coin, there are two outcomes. So possible outcomes can be calculated by using a very simple formula. Since there are only two outcomes in a single coin, so the formula is 2 upon n, 2 to the power n, 2 to the power n, number of possible outcomes equals to 2 to the power n. Here n denotes the number of coins. So when we are taking only one coin, then possible outcomes equals to 2 upon 1, that is 2. When we are taking two coins, then possible outcomes 2 square, that is 4. So here also we are getting 4 possible outcomes. Now there are several questions related to these two coins. For example, the question may be asked, what is the probability of getting only head? So see, there is only one outcome which contains only head. So the probability PE will be written as 1 upon 4. Similarly, if the question is what is the probability of getting tails? So there is only one tail, one case where there are tails only. So here also the probability will be 1 upon 4. Sometimes the question may be changed. It will be asked that what is the probability of getting at least one tail? Now see all the cases. We have to find at least one tail. So this cannot be taken. This outcome will not be taken because the question is at least one tail. There is no tail, so it will be excluded. There is one tail, we can take this. There is also one tail, we can take this. And there are two tails, we have to take this also because the question is at least one tail. Means minimum one tail we can take, but maximum we cannot. We can take anything. Maximum we can take, since there are two coins, so we can take two tails also. Therefore there are three favorable outcomes for this event. So our answer is 3 upon 4. Similarly, if the question is asked at least one head, then also the answer will be 3 upon 4. In that case, this tail will be cancelled and we have to take this one, these three outcomes. At least one head. There are two heads, we can take this. There is only one head, we can take this according to the question. and there is also one head, so we can take this. Therefore these three cases are favorable cases, so the answer of the probability will be 3/4. Sometimes the question may be changed. One head, what is the probability of getting one head? You can see there are two cases where there is one head. This one, we cannot take this because there are two heads, and we cannot take this also because there is no head. The question is one head, so there are only two cases. Therefore favorable outcome is 2 and total outcome is 4. So the answer is 1/2. Understood? With 2 coins. Now let me take 3 coins. So what are the possible outcomes? If you put n equals to 3, then total outcomes will be 2 to the power 3, that is 8. Let us check how we are getting the total outcomes. So for finding all the possible outcomes with 3 coins, when 3 coins are tossed simultaneously, first of all write all the outcomes with 2 coins, HH, HT, TH and TT. Remember, if you are trying to write the possible outcomes with 3 coins together, then it will take a lot of time and you may miss 1 or 2 outcomes. So don't use 3 coins at the at the start of the question. Just find out the possible outcomes with the 2 coins. Now take all the first coins as H. Got it? Now repeat the same thing again with 2 coins, HH, HT, TH and TT. H represent head and T represent tail. Now for the first coin, write tail in all the 4 cases. So here are all the 8 outcomes, 8 possible outcomes. Let me tell you again. First of all, write the total outcomes, all possible outcomes with 2 coins only. So take this as the second coin and this one as the third coin. For the first coin, write heads in all. Understood? Now again repeat the possible outcomes with the 2 coins as we have done earlier, HH, HT, TH, TT, and this time put tail in all the cases as the first coin. So just count it, there are 8 possible outcomes. In this way, during the exam time, to save time and make it perfect, we have to use this technique, so that you don't have to wonder which one is missed and what will come next. It will take a lot of time if you go for writing in that way. So better to do this way, keep it in the side and then answer the given question with this. Now what are the questions here? One easiest question from this will be, find the probability of getting same result. So how many cases are there with same result? See, there are 2 cases, HHH and TTT. If the question is asked to find the probability of getting same result, then there are 2 favorable outcomes and total outcome is 8. So the answer is 1/4. Okay, so many questions can be set from these 3 coins, like 2 heads. So we have to find where are the cases involving 2 heads. See here, this one case, 2 heads. There is also a case with 2 heads, and this is also a case with 2 heads. Is there any more? No. Only these 3 cases have 2 heads. So the answer is 3/8. Similarly, the question can be changed. What is the probability of getting at least one head? Remember, we have to take at least one head. That means where there is a case of no head, we cannot take that. This is the one where there is no head at all. So this has to be excluded and remaining all we can take. Because if we go through all the outcomes, there is either one head or two heads or three heads. The question is asked at least one head. So we can take one head cases, we can take two head cases, and we can take three heads cases also. So at least one heads, the favorable outcomes, total number of favorable outcomes is 7, because we have to exclude this, there is no head. So it has to be excluded. So the favorable outcome is 7 and total outcomes is 8. The answer is 7 upon 8. Similarly, the question may be changed from heads to tail, at least one tail. At least one tail means there must be a tail, one tail. We can take two tails also, we can take three tails also, but we have to take at least one tail. So this has to be excluded. We cannot take this because there is no tail. These, the remaining 7 outcomes are the favorable outcomes, and the probability will be 7 upon 8. Understood? Then the question may be asked at most one tail, at most. In other words, maximum one tail we can take, not more than that. So let us find what are the favorable outcomes. Maximum one tail cases. So this is, there are 3 tails, we cannot take this. There is 2 tail, we have to exclude. 2 tail we cannot take, a maximum one tail we can take. So this one we can take. This is also to be excluded because there are 2 tails. We can take this one tail is there. We can take this one tail, and we have to take this one also. The question is at most one tail, means if it is 0 tail, then we can also take this. At most one tail means, in other words, maximum one tail. So there is no question of minimum number of tails, only maximum we can take one tail. So these are, in this case there is no tail, still we can take this. We have to take maximum one tail. So we can take this, we can take this, we can take this, and we can take this. In all other cases, there are either 2 tails or 3 tails. So we cannot take them. We can't take them. Therefore, these 4 are the favorable outcomes. So our answer is 4 upon 8. Similarly, at most one head, same answer will come. At most one head means maximum one head we can take. We cannot take 2 heads or 3 heads. Understood? So many different types of question can be said from this. There is a twist of the language. You have to take care of the language. What is the question? And then go for finding the favorable outcomes. And total outcomes is already calculated using the formula. Hope you have understood. Now see this very interesting question. A box contains 5 black balls. You can see the colors. 3 blue balls and 2 red balls. So total there are 10 balls. All the balls are mixed thoroughly. Now without looking into the back box, we have to take a ball and find its probability of a particular color. Suppose the question is, if a ball is drawn at random from the box, what is the probability that the ball drawn will be a red ball? So probability of getting red. How many red balls are there? 2. So favorable outcome is 2. And total, the possible outcomes 10. So 2 upon 10, that is the answer is 1 upon 5. Understood? Now the second question, what is the probability of getting blue balls? So there are 3 blue balls, favorable outcome is 3 and total outcome is 10. So the answer is 3 upon 10. This is the answer. And what is the probability of black ball? There are 5 black balls. So 5 upon 10, total outcome is 10. That is 1 upon 2 is the answer. So this is very simple way of doing this sum. Now remember one thing. I have told you in the previous class that the sum of the probability of all the elementary event is 1. These are all elementary events. So probability of sum of all the probability, that is P, I can write E1, P E2, P E3. If we add them all, that is 2 upon 10 plus 3 upon 10 plus 5 upon 10. So it is 10 upon 10. That is the answer, 1. So sum of all the probabilities is 1. Understood? Okay. Now some more questions are there, interesting questions. What is the probability of getting either red or blue? So either red or blue, there are 2 red and 3 blue. So I want both the colors. So the favorable outcomes will be 2 plus 3 upon 10, that is 5 upon 10. That is 1 upon 2 is the answer. If the question is either black or red, so there are 5 black and 2 red. So black or red means total is 7. So there the probability is 7 upon 10. Similarly, the question is, what is the probability of getting neither red nor black? I cannot take red, I cannot take black, means I have to take blue only. Therefore, the probability is 3 upon 10. Favorable outcome is 3 and total outcome is 10. Okay. Now, what is the probability of getting a black and red ball? Black and red ball. Now, be careful about the language of the question. If the question is asked either black or red, so we can take both. 5 plus 2, 7 upon 10. But here the question is black and red. Are you getting my point? Black and red. Is there any ball whose color is both black and red? Just think for a while. I want a ball whose color will be black and red. No, there is no such ball whose color is both black and red. Either it is black or it is red. But a ball having both the colors black and red is not present here. So the favorable outcome is 0 and total outcome is 10. So answer is 0. This twist of the language is very, very important in case of probability. Since when the question is black or white, then only we can consider both the cases. 5 black and 2 red, black or white, we can take any one. But if the question is black and red, then we can neither we can take black nor we can take red, because the question is black and red, both colors. So there is no such ball whose color is black and red ball. Therefore the favorable outcome is 0 and total outcome is 10. So answer is 0. Hope you have understood this trick. This type of very small trick is there in the language of the question. You must be very careful before answering the question. Okay. So in the next class Again I shall continue with the chapter with some more interesting question like this one. Till then, goodbye, have a nice day.